Oh, feels like a bit of a while since we've played one of these. Hang on a minute, I've got a bit of music going on here. What's happening? Hold on. There we go. Sorry about that. That was the music playing on the Lone Wolf. Like, oh my god, it's back already. Can we not? Aha! Hold on. Wait, I think I might know how to mute it. Oh, no. Okay, all right. We'll just have to turn that off a minute. That was hugely entertaining, wasn't it? Hello, welcome to the Outcast Creative Channel. This is my if you're tuning in for the first time, which you're probably not, but if you are, this is my what's called my Lone Wolf Adventure, choose your own adventure gaming stream. Now, back in the 1980s, when I was growing up as a child of an era before mobile phones, when people still sort of went to the cinema in their droves and watched films properly, and we had to do things like rush up to people with bunches of flowers and ask them out on the street, that kind of thing, because there was no such thing as online dating back then. Very entertaining, by the way. It's a hugely entertaining process, that. There was a series of choose your own adventure books by a couple of companies. One of them was called Fighting Fantasy, and the other was called the Lone Wolf Adventure Series. Here is book one. This is an original first run edition of book one, which I bought when it was first released by Joe Deaver and Gary Chalk. And it was a really sort of massive, epic, Lord of the Rings-esque type continuing story that you got to play. Now, by the time it got to around book 10, I was a sort of late teens, and more important things like aspirations to make movies, girlfriends, and so forth had sort of interrupted my life. And the likes of Lone Wolf board games and Dungeons and Dragons had kind of gone by the wayside a little bit, much to my chagrin when I was older. Anyway, these books went up to number 30 or 32, thereabouts. I only ever played them up to book 10. I've got the original 10 first one run prints just there, and I've got the new 10 reprints just here because they're all being reprinted. So what I'm doing is I'm playing them live with your help on this stream, and I'm going to do all 30 books. That's the plan, anyway. I'm now on book 10, so I've now got to where I got to originally. The books have been rewritten. You can find out more about those on magnamund.com, which was the website I was just on that was playing the glorious tunes that I had to find a way to mute somehow. I wasn't sure if you could hear that music, but it was very hey nonny nonny. Couple of regulars in. We've got David Macy in the house. Good to see you. Jay, Desolate Soul Studios. This should be interesting. Probably your first time you've been on one of these, I would imagine. First time on your channel. Third or fourth time seeing you. Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Darth Plato is someone I've been on streams with on Positive Fandom's channel. That's just my notification telling me I'm now live. Anyway, so we are doing the Dungeons of Torgar today. Now, who needs to do a three-dimensional, graphically driven game when you can sit here and listen to me play this with me doing the voices of all the characters as well? What could be more entertaining, I ask you? Desert Phoenix occasionally pops on, does some of the voices with me. He is not here right now, but he may pop on later. You never know. So I may occasionally I have a co-host who helps me make some of the choices. That may happen later today. We shall see. Darth, you're not doing a movie this week. I am doing Cutthroat Island this week. Not a very historical film, but I will be doing more historical movies in due course. I certainly plan to do 13 hours pretty soon. I'm also going to be doing I forget the name of the other one. One of the Stalingrad movies. Anyway, let's get down to it. Okay, so I'm just going to get the map up, guys, so you can see where this is all happening. And once I get to make a choice, I know there is a slight time delay, but if you want to help me out with my choices, you chip in. So I'm a bit like a Jedi. The lone wolf, they're known as the Kai or the Magna Kai. They're kind of like Jedi. They're sort of like Jedi monks. They kind of keep the peace in the kingdom of Magnamund. Basically, the evil Dark Lord has returned, okay, and a whole lot of bad shit has happened. And so, in order to thwart the Dark Lord's evil forces, I have been charged with getting various magical artifacts from far and away locations in order to save the day. Now, this is the map inside the book cover of episode 10. Episode 10, book 10. It feels like episode 10. It's actually in here, as you can see. It's in here. You can see that. But I've already photographed it, and we're going to have it up on the screen. A lot easier to read. My character has got various artifacts and things. Thanks to Desert Phoenix, who's tidied up my character sheet. I've got kind of a little sort of character sheet action chart situation here. And I can share that with you guys as well. Let me do that real quick. So we'll just stop that for a sec. And this is my character sheet. Here we go. So I currently got 40 gold crowns, 76 Luna, which is the local currency for the kingdom I'm in. I have endurance points of 35. My combat skill, that is incorrect. I need to adjust that. That is not 3/5. My current combat skill is, let's just have a look. It is a base combat skill of 18, but I get +2 for a shield. I get plus, which brings it to 20. I get +10 for the summer sword, which brings it to 30. And there are no other built-in inherent abilities. So my current combat skill is 30. Okay, so let's just put that back in 30. I think that was a typo. Now, if I use something called a Psi Surge, which you can see I've got over here, just maybe right in this, that gives me a +4 for a round of combat. It gives me a -1 endurance. Knackers my health, so I don't want to use that too often. So these are my sort of 6 core skills. I've got a load of lesser skills which I gained in the first sort of 7 or 8 books, but they're no longer really relevant. You kind of need to get the more advanced versions of them. Each time you do a new book, you pick a new skill. And then you can see I've got various items in my backpack. I've got a herb pouch which can contain more items. I have 2 primary weapons, a silver bow of Duanodon, which is +3 in combat, and the summer sword, which I've already incorporated. So if I use the bow, I have to deduct 10, but add 3, which means, and then I have a weapon skill with a bow, and that's another 3. So I have a combat skill of 26 with the bow and 30 with the sword. So maybe I'll just pop that in there, 30, 26. So we've got that completed. You complete various lore circles when you've completed various skills. I've currently completed the Circle of Light, which has added 4 to my endurance. I've already done that, so we don't need any adjustments there. All right, so let's get the map back up because the character sheet ain't that interesting, is it? I mean, apart from the fact you can see item 5 is a vial of blue pills. Viagra, possibly, who knows? I found them in a castle in the king's bedchamber, so it's entirely possible. All right, so here's a map. Here is the map. I am going to pop that. Here we go. Darth Plato has been up for 13 hours. Dude, what are you doing? Mrs. Martin Muses is here. Thank you for popping in. We are just about to get started. Haven't done one of these for a while. I certainly haven't done the Lone Wolf for a while. So I am just going to set up a couple of things. Give me a second or two, please. Okay, sorry about that, guys. All right, here we go. So, the story so far. Okay, so basically, in the larger kingdom, I've just managed to find some ancient magical thing that I had to get. I've got one, then I had to get another one, then I had to get another one. Now, in Elysian, the capital of Desi. Oh, we're gonna have to put the big map back up, aren't we? Oh, okay. Well, I can't. Yeah. There's a capital of Desi, okay, which is over to the right. You were tutored in the histories of Magnamund and received lessons in law that you would have learned from the Kai masters if only they, like you, had survived the murderous Dark Lord attack on the Kai monastery 12 years ago. It does indeed feel like my quest began 12 years ago. You're eager to learn all that your tutor, Lord Rimoha, could teach you in preparation for the next stage of your quest. But grim news from the Darklands cut short your tuition. Thank God for that. Hate lessons. In the Dark Lord city of Helgstad, a civil war erupted following your defeat of Hakon, Archlord of the Black City. After 5 years, the battle for the throne of Helgstad was finally won by a Dark Lord called Narg. The other Dark Lords are now all united behind this new leader, and they have ordered a huge and massive armies in preparation for the conquest of Magnamund. Swiftly, their Gaiac orcs legions grow in number, enabling Narg to launch a sweeping invasion that caught the Freelands unprepared. Several countries, after a brief but futile resistance, were completely overrun by the Dark Lord armies. Others surrendered without fighting in the face of their determined might. And sadly, there were others who choose to betray former friends and allies by joining the Dark Lord's cause in the misguided hope that they would share in the spoils of victory following the triumph of the Dark Lord Nag. One such land was Vasagonia, a powered desert realm to the north of Desi. Right, yes, that's a big kingdom. That's bad news. Narg's armies mobilized and invaded their neighboring states of Kassorn and Kalicia, then marched west through the Republic of Inari to join with the Narg horde as it rampaged across central Magnamund. The elder Mackay urged you to begin your quest for the fourth Lawstone. Lawstone, that's what I'm finding. I found 3 of them so far. 4 of them will combine into some sort of big super magical weapon that's going to, be like the glove of the Avengers. Okay. The enemy armies were converging on the Inarian capital of Tahu, which is not on this map. Okay. But it was on our previous map. And beneath the ancient city, the Lawstone lay hidden, aided by Mage Master Bainadon, an old friend and fellow Summerlending. You set off in haste for Tahu, arrived belly ahead of the enemy, successfully made your descent, discovered the object of your quest, returned to the surface. You found Tahu transformed into a blazing inferno. Dark Lord Nag and blah blah, and the ruler of Vasagonia learned of your presence. Oh, that's right, I killed him, didn't I? Not Nag, the leader of Vasagonia. For days, their engines of war hurled files across the walls of Tahu with devastating effect. Yada, 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 yada. Big battle, you defeated Zakan Kiman. Turned the tide of the war decisively against the Dark Lord armies and paved the way for liberation of the lands they were taken by force. But the sweet taste of victory turned sour when you discovered the Dark Lord Nag had captured the last 3 remaining Lawstones. How many of these things are there exactly? Of Naxator. Lord Rimoa, with other members of the High Council of the Elder Mackay, joined you in Tahu to help you formulate a plan of action. You've already received word from Prince Gregor, the ruler of Eru. One of the patrols has found a man near the borders of the Hell Swamp. He was a Telestrian soldier. This is the Hell Swamp on the left here. Who had escaped from the dreaded city fortress of Torgar. Right, yeah, there it is. Torgar in the middle there. He had suffered terribly at the hands of the Drakim, evil warriors and the servants of the Dark Lord, and when found, he was so badly injured he was almost unrecognizable. Before he died, he spoke of 3 radiant gems that filled one of the rooms in the castle. Yeah, something like that. We are now sure that what he saw was the arrival of the stolen law stones. And Rimoha, speaking on behalf of the High Council, said they radiate goodness so strong that Narg could not hold them in the Darklands, but has moved them to Torgar. There his sorcerers are searching for the means to destroy them. The black arts of the Nadazarim, I don't know even how you pronounce the name of those things, have grown powerful of late, and we fear that they may achieve the task set them by the Narg. Therefore, we must act quickly and with utmost secrecy if the Law Stones and the Magna Chi quest are to be saved. Okay, all right. By the way, I've got to go to a memorial service for a friend of my dad's tomorrow, and I've got to do a big speech. So I've got to, got to save my voice a little bit. Yeah, so I'll be heading off to Barnes and Mortlake tomorrow. The older Mackay had already made preparations for your secret journey to Iru, where upon your arrival, Prince Gaegor will help you to reach the grim city of Torgar. The thought of having to enter this terrible Dracarium stronghold fills you with dread, but your solemn pledge to destroy the Dark Lords and restore the Order of the Kai strengthens your resolve and helps you to suppress your fears, even though I've just done about 5 accents in 2 sentences. On the eve of your journey to Eru, where is Eru? Okay, I'll figure that out in a minute. The Elder Mackay convene a special meeting of the High Council to pray for your success of your mission. For several hours, they kneel in prayer. Good for them. Glad I didn't have to take part. May the gods of Ishtar and Kai protect you on your journey into darkness. Korskan. Is that my new name now? Okay, I thought it was Lone Wolf. That must be Lone Wolf in local language. Good to see you, Tomby. Thanks for popping in. This is my niche gaming stream. You may have played these when you were a kid. Who knows? Okay, so only the following items can be carried over from book 6 onwards. Any others are left for safekeeping in your monastery. So hang on. So I've got to check that I haven't got anything in my possession that I shouldn't have. So I just need to get hold of my character sheet here. Got too many windows open, man. Oh yeah, Pumpkin King. Hey, I need you to come on. Tell you what, actually, let me see if Pumpkin Man is available. Because if he is, I'll drop him a link to. Gourd King is awesome. I like Gourd King. A man of little pretension, high religious conviction, but without imposing it on my person, which I always appreciate. I think we made this. Oh, cool. Gourd King, where are you? There he is. I'm going to drop. I don't even know if he's watching. Okay, so I have to pick a new skill. All right. Okay, so I also have to check that I haven't got any of my things that I shouldn't. Oh, Desert Phoenix is here. Yeah, you can't come on if you're driving though, dude. But glad to see that you're here and you're listening. That's great stuff. Desert Phoenix is a big fan of the Lone Wolf series. I don't know how many of the books he also played. I only played up to book 10. So I've lost my character sheet. Where's it gone? Too many windows. I think I might have closed it accidentally. God, did I do that? Let me see if I can find it under recents. There it is. Okay, I have it. All right, very good. All right, so I can keep the Kai shield, which I have, the Crystal Star pendant, which I have, battered padded leather waistcoat, which I have, helmet, which I have, chainmail waistcoat, which I don't have. That sounds pretty cool. Maybe I should try and get one of those. Summer Sword, which I have, Fire Spheres, which I have, Silver Helmet, which I do not have, Dagger of Vashnar, which I do have, but I don't take with me. It's in the monastery. Canteen of Water, which I've got, Herb Pad, which I have, and a jeweled mace, which I sold. some time ago. I bet that's going to come back to haunt me, selling that somehow. So Desert Phoenix has played the first 20. Tell a lie. Gord stops. Yeah, so I've dropped Gord the link. So if he's able to come on, he can pop in. All right. Okay. So he's done these with me before. So these are the current Kai disciplines. I have. Yeah, I've got 12 of these original skills, and now I have to pick the updated sort of versions. So I already have Deviation, Pathmanship, Size Surge, Curing, Animal Control, and a Weapon skill, which has given me +3 with the bow. Now I can also choose Invisibility, Hunt Mastery, Size Screen. I'm tempted to go for Invisibility, I have to say. Tempted to go for Invisibility. Nexus. Nexus stops me from getting extremely hot or extremely cold. I have to say that also is tempting. I've got to go into a castle to get these stones. I think Invisibility wins the day. So I'm going to add skill 7. It's going to be Invisibility. Okay. All right. There we go. Moving on. Equipment. Okay. So I can, I think I can add some meals. All right. Yeah. I get a potion of Aletha, which increases my combat skill by 2 points and lasts for the duration of 1 combat only. Not 1 combat round. It's like the complete combat. I've got 3 fire seeds. I already have 5 of those, so I don't think I need to add any more. But I used my Aletha potion, so I'll take that. I'll take my Aletha potion. That goes in the herb pouch, I believe. Oh, not listed on the things you could take were the bluestone triangle, so that's obviously no longer of any use. So I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to add the Aletha potion. The Colte diamond, it said you couldn't take that. I'm guessing that's no use. Okay, so special items, gold crowns, the Luna. Maximum number of Luna I can carry is 50. I've got 76. So I'm going to keep 26 at home and 50 on my person. Okay, done. Yeah. The totals there. Sorry, guys. Normally I update my character sheet before I actually do the adventure, so you don't have to listen to all this boring shit. But anyway, right. I'm allowed to take a potion of lamp spur. It cannot be drunk during combat. Keys. Straw per dose if you're just going on food. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to take I haven't completed any other law circles. I'm going to, but I am going to take some meals, and I'm going to take a lamp spur healing potion. I've got 2 already. I think you can always add another one when you start a mission. So that gives me 3. They restore 2 endurance each. They're quite useful. Okay, again, apologies for this fucking about. Okay, we're going to take some meals. We'll take 5 meals. And I think we're ready to go. Okay, guys, here we go. The Dungeons of Torgar. Dun, dun, dun. For all those kids watching, we started the mission about 20 minutes in. Okay, so, feel free to fast forward. All right, okay. So, yeah, Gourd King's probably got better things to do, I'm sure, than pop on here. All right. Desert Phoenix still has all 20 books from the original show. So from the original print run, I'm guessing. Okay. Right. Sorry, I have got way too many windows open here. I just had to close some of them. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, all 20 books. There we go. Fantastic. There are 32 in total, if you don't include, I think there's a spin-off series as well. I will also be playing the spin-off series of Highway Warrior. I now have 3 of the 4 books, but I don't have the first one due to a fuck up at the place where I ordered books 1 and 4, and book 4 arrived like in 2 days. Book 1 has still not arrived. So make of that what you will. I'm giving the company a chance before I call them out on their befuddlings, but they better get their act together pretty soon. Okay, guys, here we go. Big long section of text. It's dawn on Midsummer's Day when you ride out of Tahu. Since your victory over the Sarkhan, your appearance in a public place has been enough to provoke spontaneous cheer from the Tahuese, who regard you as their savior. Okay. But, on this morning, I go out unnoticed. I'm conducting an elaborate deception as a normal guard in order to make the Dark Lord Nag believe I have returned to Summerland, but I have, and I've given my Kai cloak and tunic to my friend Bannerton. Disguised as you, he leaves for Summerland aboard his flying ship Skyrider this afternoon. There's a formal ceremony and all sorts. Nag has vowed to kill me. It's a vow that has become an obsession that torments him like a poisoned wound. It's hoped that Bannerton's much publicised flight home will lure Nag's vengeful eyes and his agents and so forth, and increase my chances of success at Torgar, stealing the law stones from under him. Your ride ends at Farina, where you catch a barge downriver to the port of Talon. Now, I might have to open the Hey Nonny Nonny Magnamund website. I thought there was a way of somehow. Oh my God, there we go. Can we? Oh, there we go. Oh, very good. I've managed to turn off the volume. There we are. So, I'm just trying to find out where I am. Let me have a look. Casson. A little bit confused. Let me look at this map. Let's enlarge this map a bit. Okay. So I'm sorry, I'm just trying to find this location on the bigger map. The bigger map, by the way, the entire world of Magnamund is absolutely massive. Oh yeah, there's Tahu. Okay. So your ride ends in Farina, where you catch a barge downriver to the port of Talon. Okay, yep, see where that is. Okay, guys, I'm going to share this with you so you can follow my little journey here. This is the big map. Here we go. You can find this for yourself on magnamund.com, where you can also order the books if you fancy playing them yourself. There's also some nice merchandise. I haven't actually got my Lone Wolf T-shirt on today, and I should have. I've got one. I've got another one on order, a white one, and I have Book 11 on order, but it has not yet arrived. Unusually, so I think it's pre-ordered though. So, all right. So we're currently at the port of Toulon, or Talon, which is here. You can see my little mouse there. You receive news of a rebellion in Marrakesh, the Vassagonian capital, and reports of the sudden withdrawal of Vassagonian troops from the lands of Nag invaded earlier in the war. That's good. Bodes well for the continuing struggle against the Dark Lords. The Vassagonia was their only major ally. You spend one night in Talon before buying passage aboard a merchantman. Remember, I'm in disguise. On its way along the Tentaris. Yeah, that's that big stretch of water. 5 days later, you disembark at Garthen, the capital of Telestria. Garthen takes me 5 days to get there. That must be up here quite some way. Garthen, there it is. There it is. Just below the Darnag, where we've already been. Okay, God, there's a shitload more text here. Bear with me. Right. Telestria was overrun in the early days of the war, but the neighbouring country of Parmirion, there it is, yeah, Parmirion, came quickly to the nation's aid. The armies of Telestria and Parmirion united and fought the invading horde, led by the warlord Zegron of Ogier, on the battle plains north of Garthen. Very good. For 3 days and nights, a bit of struggle raged, and the Allies were sorely pressed to withstand the overwhelming numbers of the enemy. Then on the morning of the fourth day, the unexpected arrival of the Dwarven army of Boar, it's the first time I've heard of dwarves in this world, was to seal Zegron's doom. That sounds very much like Lord of the Rings moment where the riders of Ram sort of arrive on the crystal. Oh, such a good scene. Now I want to watch Lord of the Rings. I'm reading this. His mighty force crumbled, and the survivors fled northward in chaos and were pursued relentlessly. The latest news tells of the Allies' capture of Zanar, a major Orgian stronghold, and their continued advance westward along the Black Shroud Trail. Okay, I don't know where that is, but the Black Shroud. Oh, there it is. Look, north of the Darnag. Okay. All right. The royal court of Queen Yvain would be honoured to assist you, but secrecy is paramount to the success of your quest, and so you shun the royal palace and take lodgings instead in a humble dockside tavern. There you arrange transportation to Eru aboard a brigantine bound for the Irunian capital of Humboldt. So I'm guessing I'm going up the canal, or one of the canals. Or am I going upriver? Don't know. Humboldt? Not seeing Humboldt on here. If anyone sees it, let me know. Give me a shout. Let's read a bit more. And leave the next day on the noontide. Upon your arrival, you make your way to the city's ancient quarter. I don't even know where I am. Where the Eldar Mackay have arranged a clandestine meeting with Prince Gregor. Okay, there's another map in the book, so I'm going to have a quick look at that map also. See if it's here. Apparently. Oh, I see where Eru is. I'm not quite sure where Torgar is in relation to that. So, okay. Well, oh, there's Torgar. Okay. Yeah, there's Torgar. That's where we're going. So we're going to the fortress of Torgar, which is here. Okay. That's the plan. Okay. Humboldt. Okay, here's Humboldt. Here's Humboldt down here. Here we go. And here's the Kingdom of Erus. Erus is a kingdom, not a town. That's where I got confused. All right. Okay. We are going to start this at some point. I promise you. The prince invites you to accompany him to Lemoy, where he is to resume the command of his army and lead them into battle. He provides you with a fine Urun steed and a new disguise. What's that, like a beard and dark glasses? That will enable you to travel through Eru without drawing attention to yourself. Dressed as a Irunian Pathfinder, one of the elite units of scouts who operate in the harsh territories bordering the Hell Swamp, you ride north with the prince's entourage and arrive at the city 5 days later. Okay, so we're now in the city of Lumi, which is just here. If you look here, there we go. After the prince has attended a war conference with King Sarnak, you meet in private to discuss the next stage of your quest. There are 2 ways to reach Torgar, says the prince, as together you study the map given to you by the Senate of Tahu. Okay, right, there's 2 ways. You can cross the River Brol. I feel like we might want the bigger map here. Let's get the more detailed one. Okay, I'm gonna take this one down for a sec. Can I put this one up? Okay, here we go. So we're looking at the bottom area of this. Here's the river. The River Brol's down here. Okay. So you can cross the River Brol, make your way northwards through the Magor Forest, or you can go to Percy and seek out Seb Gerald. He's the leader of a brave band of partisans who have ambushed and resisted the Drakim ever since they invaded. If there's a path to Torgar between the Hell Swamp and the Isle of Ghosts, he will know it. Okay, here's the Isle of Ghosts. Okay, so Torgar is up here. Isle of Ghosts looks a bit dodgy, I'll be honest. This isle is cursed, he says, pointing at the map with an accusing finger. Few have ever come out of that dreadful place alive. Of those poor wretches who have survived, only one has kept a grip on his sanity. His name is Seb Jarrell. Next day, you rise with dawn and prepare to set off on your journey to Torgar. There are 2 routes open to you. Okay, people in chat, this is where I need your decision making. So stand by to come in. Keithy, good to see you. Which way are we going to go, guys? We've got two choices here. You can ride to Percy, that's that town up on the left here. Percy. I don't know how you pronounce that. Percy. Okay. Can ride up to Percy on the left here. And seek out Seb Gerald, the partisan leader, the only man who can guide you through this treacherous wilderness. Or you can accompany Prince Gregor to battle at Setzer. If his army beats the Drakim and forces them to retreat, the way across the River Brol will be open and you'll be able to approach Torgar under the cover of the Mogador Forest. Consult the map before deciding. So if you want to go to Percy, turn to 176, or you can choose to accompany Prince Gregor, turn to 308. Okay, guys, that's the first choice. So 176 to go to, and don't do that to me. Or you go 308, go with Prince Gregor. Hey chat, what we thinking on this? So basically I've got a choice of running with the prince or traveling up to this town to see if there's a more secret way to approach the castle through the island of ghosts and the forest and swamp and things. What are we thinking? My inclination, I have to be honest, is leaning towards going up to Piercy of the two. It just seems like maybe kind of meeting this elusive guy might turn out to be interesting. I don't know. Anyone want to chip in the chat? If you do, speak now, forever hold your peace. Okay, all right. No one's offering any solutions. So I'm going to go with Percy, and we are going to 176. Here we go. Oh, the number of viewers has just dropped drastically. So, sorry, we have had a bit of a sluggish start. I do apologise. Okay, before leaving Lumi, the prince gives you a signet ring that bears his royal crest. Write that down in your chart. I shall. I had something similar before, so signet ring. Okay, done that. Signet ring with the royal crest of whoever. Signet ring. Oh, feeling hungry, you know. Wish I'd eaten a bit more tonight. Royal crest. You do not need to discard anything. It's so small. By wearing the ring on your right hand, you signify that you have the friendship of the royal court. And that might prove valuable when trying to persuade Seb Jarrell to aid you in your quest. Okay, fair enough. You exchange farewells before checking your equipment and setting off on the dusty road to Percy. The road itself is a little better than a dirt track, cuts across open grassland towards a wide and muddy river. Okay. Heaps of grey stone dot the unkempt landscape. There are deserted ruins of farmstead and houses destroyed during the Drakeem occupation. After an hour, in the saddle you arrive at the river, at a point where the wide stone bridge spans its murky waters. A fire-blackened watchtower and a roofless stone hut stand at the approach to the bridge. You notice a faint wisp of wood smoke rising from the top of the tower, and a saddled horse grazing by the river's edge. If you want to stop and investigate the watchtower, turn to 232. Or I can continue on the bridge and go to 75. I think it's a no-brainer, guys. Always investigate. We're also not on a time-sensitive mission here. So either the bad guys have been fooled by my deception, in which case I've got plenty of time, or they haven't, in which case I've got no time. So, right, it's getting a bit warm in here. So the weather, by the way, is really messed up in the UK. You never know what it's going to do on any given day. Here we go. So we are going to 232. Two, 3, 2. Silently, you dismount and approach the charred tower door. Through the warped timbers, you can see a man crouching beside a smouldering fire. He is cooking a carcass of a bird, wears clothes cut from supple leather, dyed crimson, and coiled on his hip you notice a bullwhip, its braids studded with nuggets of copper. "Join me, stranger," he says unexpectedly, without raising his eyes from the glowing charcoal file. "There's plenty enough meat on this fledgling for the two of us." If you wish to accept this stranger's offer, turn to 129. I think I do. Be a bit pointless otherwise. Otherwise, you just go back to 75 again. 129. By the way, for those people watching, I am going to be publishing my own choose your own adventure book with a very unique combat system. And it's going to be a World War II book. Yeah. So keep an eye out for that. Going to be working on that. It's going to be my big project for the beginning of 2024. I'm going to blitz that in the winter. I'm going to try and publish it around sort of end of spring. You push open the tower door with your foot, and a splash of morning sunlight illuminates the gloomy interior. Slowly, the man raises his weather-brown face and smiles and a smile softens his craggy features when he recognizes the uniform you are wearing. "Welcome, Pathfinder," he says, in his thick Huron accent, echoing around the empty stone chamber. I have no idea what a Huron accent is. "I am Helgar of Percy. Come and share my humble feast in celebration of our victory over the Drakeem." He splits the roasted bird. I'm being a bit crap on the voices, sorry. He splits the roasted bird in two, tosses half to you. "Tastes delicious." "I saw you approaching," he says, wiping away the grease from his mouth. Now I'm getting proper hungry now. "I wagered you'd stop and breakfast here. Where are you bound?" You hesitate to answer, but your basic Kai sixth sense tells you this man is no trickster. "I'm riding to Percy," you say. "I've orders to contact Seb Jarrell." See, that's my sexy lone wolf voice. Right? Only lone wolf gets that voice. You're hoping he's going to tell you where he is. Halgar narrows his sea green eyes and strokes his chin thoughtfully. If you have the magnified discipline of invisibility, I do. That's the new one that I picked. Turn to 331. Okay, good shout, people. Glad that we picked that skill. Turn to 331. On 331 is 331. "I see you wear the prince's mark," he says, pointing at your signet ring on with the tip of his blade. "Be running an errand on his behalf?" "Aye," you answer, like some northerner, mimicking the Huron accent to perfection with the help of your magnified discipline. Oh, I see. I'm emulating the guards of this particular yeah, okay, I get it. Excuse me. "An errand of great urgency. Do you know where I might find Seb Jarrell?" "Aye, that I do," he says jovially. "He's my brother. You can find him encamped at the foot of the Hawk Ridge Mountains. Stay on the trail to Percy until you reach an old mining settlement of Caig, and then take the track that follows the stream." Okay, so remember that, guys. The track that follows the stream. Keep on riding, and you'll find Seb soon enough. Be watchful when you enter the forest. There's a pack of Akataz on the loose. If they catch the scent of your horse, they'll be on you quicker than lightning. Now, Akataz are probably a monster, and there might be a picture of said monster at the back, but there are not. Okay, that must be a monster we've already seen. But they have got a Crawn and a Gorodon, which is like a giant lizard, and the Zaran. Okay, a new race of bad people. Just what I need. All right, so we're going to 75. Good to see you, David Macy. Thanks for popping back. We're now going to 75. All right, let's see what happens. I'm definitely not going to complete this today, just so you know, because I do have to go to bed at a reasonable hour. It's not too late. It's only 10 to 10, but I will have to be down by 11, I think. So I'll play this for an hour. The road beyond the river leads you into a thick forest where there's a dense canopy of branches. A dazzling mosaic of light and shade blankets the trail ahead as it winds like a tunnel through the tall grey-green trees. Gradually, the trail becomes rougher. New saplings have speared through its stony surface, and foliage spills out from the forest on either side. The leafy tunnel ends abruptly at the edge of a steep valley, although the trail itself continues onward, winding its way down towards a fast-flowing stream. Cautiously, you urge your horse down the snaking path, arriving at a cluster of dilapidated log huts. Caig settlement. This is the mining settlement. Yeah, okay. Two trails lead away from this abandoned mining hamlet. One climbs out of the valley and disappears into the forest. We do not want to go that way. Or you can ride along the track beside the stream. Now, that's where the guy told us to go. But there's also an opportunity here of if we have the skill of pathmanship, which we do, turn to 102. So I'm going to do that. 102. Your Magnified sense tells you that the trail which climbs out of the valley and is heading north. The town of Percy lies approximately 30 miles in this direction. So Percy is 313, but the track along the stream is 18, and that's where we need to go because we need to fire this. We need to find this guy. But I'm just going to write those options down. So 313. So one of the things I'm going to do with my combat system for my what's going to be different about my World War II game is thank you, Keith, for putting 102 in there for me. Yeah, so we're going to 102 now. Appreciate that. Is that I mean, obviously it's going to have a slightly different combat mechanics, different skill sets, that kind of thing. There's going to be 3 different insertion points, so you don't always start the adventure at the same place exactly. There's going to be about 1,000 options in the book, roughly. Certainly around no less than 700 choices. It's going to be quite historical, but you're also going to be able to influence history. And as you achieve little things as you go through the game, you're going to affect this kind of historical thermometer. And that thermometer is going to be relevant as you progress through the adventure, and that will determine what happens to you and also to history. And it's going to be about the Battle of Arnhem. So if you've seen Bridge Too Far, you'll know what's coming. All right, here we go. So we're going up. Yeah, so we're going to 18. All right. You coax your horse along the rocky trail as it winds its way upstream towards the foothills of the Uru Range. By early evening, you've traversed several miles of difficult terrain, and by chance, you find yourself at the entrance to an incredible gorge. It is filled with a sea of wildflowers, so colourful that you are dazzled by their brilliance. The scent they exude is extremely potent, and you feel a tremendous urge to dismount and lie down among the beautiful blooms. I think not. Now, it's asking me if I have either the discipline of Nexus or the discipline of Curing. I do have Curing, so we're going to go to 255. I bet and then it says if you have neither of those, you get a 167. I have a feeling that's going to be your adventure ends here. Curious to know. You're able to identify many of the flowers that fill the gorge. Among them are blue and pink blooms of lacares, used throughout Magnamund as an active ingredient in sleeping potions. It is an insidious scent of these flowers that is slowly numbing your senses. Wary of the danger, you rein your horse about and hurry up the gorge. Yes, good. Okay. No sleeping. 98. Have a feeling that would have not ended well for me. A sudden tumble of loose shale from the rim of the gorge alerts you to potential danger. You focus your eagle eyes, action man, some people will get that joke, on the rugged grey rocks above and catch sight of a pair of eyes staring down at you through a gap between 2 large boulders. Your stomach tightens, you feel trapped and are about to spur your horse towards the mouth of the gorge when a voice hails, "Hail, Pathfinder, what news of you from Lumi?" If you choose to answer the voice, turn to 223. If you choose to make a hasty escape, turn to 134. 233. Definitely got to answer. Identify yourself, you shout in reply. Then maybe I'll have some news that'll cheer your heart. Slowly, the man steps out from behind the boulders. He raises his hand, and 20 others, maybe more, appear from around the lip of the gorge. Blimey. If I tried to ride on, I would have been dead. Several are armed with loaded bows, all pointed at you. The men are dressed in jerkins and breeches of crimson leather, and each carries a veritable arsenal of weapons strapped about their waist and chest. They are the Iran partisans. I come from the court of Prince Gregor. The army of Eru and the Lessian allies have driven the enemy back to Setsa. Battle is imminent, and victory will soon be ours. Your news is stale, comes the reply, and the prince would have not sent a pathfinder to tell us this. The partisans shuffle uneasily and view you with renewed suspicion. It is not my purpose to bring news of war. I come to entreat the aid of Seb Jarrell, you reply. The spokesman for the partisans signals to the others, and the section disappears from view. After a few minutes, they reappear on horseback at the mouth of the gorge and beckon you to approach them. If you possess a bullwhip, turn to 185. If you do not possess this special item, turn to 342. Now, did I misread it? Because we spotted that guy who had the bullwhip, but did I misread it, or did he give it to us? Because I thought, I'm wondering if he gave it to us. I'm going to backtrack a little bit to we go 176. Which brings us to the bridge, and then it's 232 with that guy. So we're currently at 223. Oh, hang on, I mistyped that. Oh, I've done that before. 223. There we go. 223. Currently at 223. So yeah, I want to just check whether we got given that. He never gave it to you. Oh, I didn't think so, Keith. I didn't think so. But don't forget, I abbreviate the text sometimes, so it's possible I might have missed something. So let me just go back to that number, which would have been 232. Yeah, so 129 was when I accepted the meal. Okay, and then it went to 267. Oh, I think I've missed out some numbers on here. Oh, no. I went to 331, sorry. That's probably if I'd killed him. Maybe that's what happens if you kill him and you end up taking the whip. Yeah, you're right. He did not give me the whip. Thank you, Keith. So I do not possess the bullwhip. Turn to 342. Okay. Damn, man! I got to tell you, I'm pretty hungry. I didn't have much to eat today. Had some noodles and I had some these fish things. I think I might need to eat some chicken. As you approach the partisans, you hold up your right hand to display your signet ring. It is enough to convince them that you speak the truth. Very well, says their sergeant, a tall, lantern-jawed man with iron grey hair. We shall take you to our leader. However, you must agree to wear a blindfold. It is for your own good. As well as ours. The Drakeem torture their prisoners. If you should fall into their hands, you'll not be able to tell them where we are encamped. Fair enough. So after 2 hours, you finally reach your destination. The blindfold is removed, so it takes you to 25. Okay, here we go. I'm a bit low energy today, but that's just so you know, by the way, guys, I've been away I went away for a few days to the Netherlands to see a friend of mine who's very sick. And it was very good that I went because he was in quite a bad way. But he was very pleased to see me. So I spent a few days in northern Holland in a place called Leeuwarden. Very, very lovely place. You rub your eyes and look around the campsite, nestling in a hollow at the foot of a great snow-capped mountain. It is occupied by a host of partisans. They are busy tending their ponies and sharpening weapons dulled by heavy fighting. Your escort helps you to dismount, and you are led through the camp to a cave hidden beneath a huge outcrop of rock. As you enter the cave and follow a torchlit passage, you hear voices echoing in the distance, and your keen nostrils catch the succulent smell of roasting meat. I always love it when they describe that. The passage ends at a curtained archway guarded by two men with spears. They look at you brusquely, as if you are no more important than a stray dog. Your escort explains your purpose here, and they promptly stand and allow you an audience with Seb Jarrell. Turn to 38. Seb Jarrell. So far, no combat, guys. Not that that's a bad thing. Okay, we've got two options. Oh, no. Not two options, because it's asking me if I possess a skill. Beyond the curtain arch lies a cavern. 5 men sit cross-legged around a fire, carving meat from a boar. And a wineskin is being passed between them. "What have we here?" says a man with mouse-like features. "A pathfinder, if I'm not mistaken." "Well, pathfinder, what brings you to our camp?" "I come to seek the help of Seb Jarrell," I reply. "Which one of you is he?" "I'm Jarrell," answers the mouse-like man. "How can I aid you?" If you have the magnified discipline of divination, turn to 157. I do. In fact, that's the first skill that I picked. So we are going to 157. Should I be getting points for these segments? No, I haven't been injured yet, Keith. My health is maxed. So 38. Went to 38. And now I'm going to 157. Okay. So 157. Your senses tell you that the man is lying. Yeah, he's not a partisan leader. He repeats the question, but you hesitate to answer. You cast your eyes over each man in turn, and your senses confirm your suspicions. None of these men is Seb Jarrell. If you wish to ask the mouse man why he's lying, turn to 51. If you want to choose a weapon and challenge him to prove his identity, turn to 132. If you decide to leave the cave, turn to 23. Okay. So, draw a weapon to act provocatively in dangerous situation. Turn my back on enemy, also dangerous, to leave the cave. Or ask the mouse-like man why he is lying. So, I've got 3 choices there. I'm going to grab a glass of milk. So, while I'm doing that, those of you in chat, please suggest what you think I should do, and I'll be right back. Ah, grapes and milk together at last. Right. Ask the bastard why he's lying. I was leaning towards that one. That is option 51. Let's do that. I was already leaning that way. 51. Oh, hello. We've got a picture coming up. A laugh, deep and guttural, rumbers from the far side of the cavern. I see Kalia's play acting ain't good enough to fool you, Pathfinder, says a man who until now has remained hidden in the shadows. As he steps forward, the fire casts a warm glow over his massive frame to reveal that he is, in fact, Robbie Coltrane. There you are. Looks like Hagrid. I mean, does that look like Hagrid or what? Looks like Hagrid to me. He smiles, his green eyes bright and piercing, set wide beneath an intelligent brow. Check on the sentries, Scalia, he instructs his lieutenant. Make sure they got their wits about them tonight. Obediently, the mouse-like man and his 4 companions leave the chamber, and the curtain is pulled across the archway. I am Jarrell. What do you want from me? We're going to go to 92. My voices tonight are all over the place. A little bit tired today. It was a long trip. I did give myself one night to recover, but I don't think that was enough at my age. Partisan leader listens intently as you recount the many events that have led you to seek his help. My God, if I tell him everything from books 1 through 9, he's going to be there for about 9 hours. You speak with courage and wisdom, Kai Warrior. It's rare to find these virtues present so strong in one so young. The help you beg me to provide could cost me my life, yet you offer no reward save the thanks of some distant land and the slender promise of a better age. However, I feel compelled to help you, for in my heart I know that you are one who can deliver us from the perpetual shadow of the Dark Lords. Very well observed, sir. Very well observed. I am indeed that man, I say. He rises and bids you to follow him as he walks through the archway. Come, we must prepare for our journey. The road you wish to travel is perilous and long. Is there any other kind? Best set off earliest, less caution and common sense conspire to change my mind. 285. Right. Seb Jarrell informs you that partisans that he has agreed to guide you through the Hell Swamp. Oh, okay. He's careful not to reveal details of your quest, but he does tell them that your mission has royal approval, and if successful, will strike a major blow against the Drakeem. Why do I think this mouse-like guy is going to come back to haunt me and turn out to be some sort of traitor type? I mean, I have a feeling that that's going to happen. So, let me, what am I doing? No. Right. Oh my God. Okay. So, let us continue. Right. At dawn, after a good night's sleep and a hearty breakfast, you mount the ride along a trail that leads to Percy. Here you leave your horses for the next part of your journey through the forest. Taintor is too difficult to attempt on horseback. Following traces of a forgotten path, you trek through blue-grey pines until twilight descends. You stop to make camp for the night. Jarrell volunteers for the first watch while you settle down gratefully on a bed of leaf mould. That sounds lovely. and drift off into a dreamless sleep. It feels as if you've only just closed your eyes when you are awoken by the savage and desolate howl of a Thanator wolf. Turn to 329. Okay. 329. David, if you want to stick the number in, it's 329. So see what we get. 329. 9. Here we go. Nope, I haven't done it. All right, I'm doing it. 329. Boom. There we go. All right. Blinking the sleep from your eyes, you scramble to your feet. You reach for your weapons. Stand back to back, whispers Jarrell. You remember hearing tales of Thanator wolves during your travels through Eru of their cruelty and speed and savage and cunning. They're over there, hisses Jarrell, pointing to a knot of pines. The dark foliage rustles and a massive wolf-like creature. Well, what else would it look like if it's a wolf? Bounds towards you, its eyes rolling, yellow fangs gaping wide. If you have a bow and you wish to use it, turn to 70. I do, and I will. Okay. And I've got 12 arrows. And forgive my indulgence, guys, and a few grapes. I'm got strangely hungry. I am trying to cut down on my food consumption a bit, so I'm trying to lose weight at the moment. You draw an arrow, take careful aim at the creature's mouth. It howls with a devilish glee, drawing back its lips in a snarl that reveals a jaw full of fangs, most over 6 inches in length. As the smell of its fetid breath fills your nostrils, you release your arrow and send it streaking towards the beast's ghastly maw. Pick a number from the random number table and add any missile bonuses you may have. I do. I have +6 because I have the bow, which has +3, and I have the skill of bow, which is another +3. So I can only roll 3 or higher. So there are 2 options there. Okay, so let's get the dice app up for the first time today. Here we go. I'm going to play this until I've drunk my milk and finished my grapes. All right, here we go. So we're rolling a D10. Most of the rolls are D10s in this game. I have rolled an 8 with my +6 skill is 14. If you roll 8 or higher, turn to 195. Okay, so we're going to 195. You see the wolf cringe as your arrow penetrates deep into its throat. It opens a great jaw, but no howl escapes from its frightful, fang-filled mouth. Frothing blood, it crashes nose first into the soft forest earth, somersaults twice, and then rolls limply to a halt at your feet. Turn to 202. Okay. Good for me. I think I might have missed a number out there, David. But anyway, we're going to 202 now. There we go. All right. You step away from the dead wolf and steel yourself when Jarrell cries, "There's another one!" There's a brief flash of feral eyes. Jarrell sidesteps and ducks, and the howling wolf meets with a swift death when Jarrell's sword slices upwards and sunders its heart. Breathless and blood splattered, how charming. You gather up your equipment and hurry deeper into the forest before the smell of the dead wolves attracts more of their kind, or worse. Turn to 282. Right, I'm wondering if I should keep the combat dice up for a moment. I have a feeling there may be other beasties. We'll keep it for a moment. Okay. Oh, perhaps not. Let's get the map back up. Okay. Shortly after dawn, you discover a track that winds its way northward through rough-barked pines. This old game trail will lead us down to Smuggler's Nook, says Jarrell. Chewing on a piece of dried meat he has pulled from his pack. I reckon we should get there this side of noon. His prediction comes true, for it's mid-morning when you arrive at a ragged group of plank huts on the bank of a fast-flowing river. At one time, these shanties were the thriving centre of illegal trafficking of gold and gems. The citizens of Percy who mine these rich resources in the Eru range. Let's have a look and see where this is. Oh, right, okay. So I guess we're around here somewhere. Used to smuggle their precious cargoes out of the territory by boat, choosing to risk the dangers of the Hell Swamp rather than pay the prince taxes. It was only after the prince decreed the death penalty and employed pathfinders to help enforce the law that the Persians finally gave up their illegal trade. If you wish to note that you've visited Smuggler's Nook, turn to 231. That's the only way I can go anyway. Okay. So I have visited Smuggler's Nook. It might be important, so I'm going to get my old character sheet up, which doesn't have enough space to write all those things down. Places visited, Smuggler's Nook. Okay. All right. So we're going 231. Over here, calls Jarrell, pulling open a rot-infested door of a hut at the water's edge. Inside, there's an overturned rowboat with a pair of battered oars. He turns the small craft over and raises it by the stem. Give a hand, he says, straining to push it forward. You place the oars inside, lift the bow and help him launch into the river. This brings back some memories, says Jarrell wistfully. Never thought I'd be sharing this little booty runner with a pathfinder. Oh, I say, what a name. You toss your pack into the boat and take your place opposite the partisan leader as he fixes the oars into position. Then with a smooth stroke, he propels the boat into the current and you begin your voyage towards the sinister channels of the Hell Swamp. Right, well, I didn't visit the Hell Swamp by boat last time. 240. So we are on 240. Okay. So we're in the Hell Swamp. It's interesting to think, well, I wonder what would have happened if we'd gone the other way. Would we still have somehow ended up meeting this guy? Big section of text. Oh, okay. Big swig of milk then. All right. The first day of your voyage is smooth and uneventful. The strong current bears you steadily northwards, and Jarrell is content to allow the boat to drift with the flow while he enjoys the warm sunshine and conversation. You learn much about your guide during this time, do I now? And the land of Eru, I keep wanting to say Emu, and in return you recount the legends of Summerland, you tell him of your adventures. At dusk you reach a confluence where the river is joined by another that flows in from the east. Here currents are swift and treacherous, but Jarrell steers the boat masterfully and brings it ashore at a muddy beach on the west bank, where a small stone hut stands close to the river's edge. You are dragging the boat up the muddy shore when Jarrell abruptly freezes in his tracks. A movement among the tall grasses that fringe the beach has alerted him to a pair of wide green eyes. Keep still. It's a Gorodon. Okay, a Gorodon, by the way, looks like this. That one. That is a Gorodon. His fears are confirmed when the creature leaves its hiding place and comes crawling down the beach towards you. If you have the magnified discipline of animal control, I do. Turn to 112. Okay, so we'll use that then. 112. You focus your magnified skill on the lumbering reptile and command it to retreat. It halts and raises its horned head. As its hungry eyes regard you with suspicion, then with a loud snort of disdain, it turns around and crawls back into the grass. Okay, result. Might have been more fun to fight it, but anyway. Okay, 114. Sorry, 144. That. And a 144. This night you make camp in a stone hut. It's a little better than a hovel, but at least it provides shelter from the rain, which begins to fall shortly after dark. It is still falling when you set off at dawn. The dull grey hours pass uneventfully until the wooded shoreline gradually gives way to a wilderness of slime-laden mudflats and twisted, petrified trees. Here the current is weak and you are forced to row in order to make progress through the brown, scum-flecked water. Jarrell sits at the prow. Does he now? So I get to do all the rowing. His wolfskin cloak drawn close around his shoulders to keep out the chill rain. He stares ahead as he guides you through the narrow channels that bisect this evil-smelling swamp. Twice you find yourselves caught in a watery cul-de-sac and have to retrace your course. Well, he's not much of a guide, is he? Then you catch sight of an island that promises a firm mooring and a place to camp overnight. Pick a number from the random number table. Okay. We shall. By the way, those people still watching, thank you for staying with me. I know it's not the most exciting thing on the planet. But I shall do my best to keep you entertained. Okay. Dice up. Roll that dice. Here we go. Our random number is 2. If the number you have picked is 4 or lower, turn to 59. I don't like the sound of that. Sounds like it's the worst option. There's nothing that influences it, so we're going to 59. Okay. Your adventure ends here. The island is no more than a crusty mudflat that supports a brace of stunted trees. Your rumbling stomach reminds you must eat a meal now or lose 3 endurance points. Wow. Next time, break out some Maltesers. I'll tell you what, Keith. Now you made me want some of them. I'm not a fan of Oreos. If you're about to suggest that. Okay, so I'm going to eat a meal. So I'm reducing my meals to 4. And I've got 5 currently. Gonna one back. 4. Okay. You agree to take first watch as Gerald settles down to sleep. You sit and stare across the moonlit swamp, contemplating the journey ahead. By chance, you're looking down at the water's edge when a scaly paw breaks through the surface and sinks its claws into the mud. A second paw joins it, and between them rises a gruesome fish-like head. Moonlight glints on the needle-thin fangs as it slyly slinks out of the mire. If you have a bow and wish to use it, yes, I do. Turn to 76. Okay. I'm going to use that bow. I'm going to keep the combat chart up because I think we're going to need it. This creature is called a bakish. Sounds like some sort of shisha. You aim and fire in the blink of an eye, sending your arrow coursing deep into the creature's bloated body. It lets out a sound more like a scream than a croak and sinks out of sight. What the? Jarrell, woken by the noise. However, before you can warn him, 2 more of the strange amphibious creatures are over the side of the upturned boat and attack you both with their taloned paws. The swamp dwellers are immune to Mind Blast. As a Grashy, you may use the blue steel spear bonus if you possess such an item. Okay, I do possess it, but I'm going to use the summer sword. Okay, it's got a combat skill of 21. I've got a combat skill of 30. Let me just check I haven't missed anything. Yeah, 30. 18 plus 2 for the shield. Plus 10 for the summer sword, 30. So we're rolling on the combat chart with a difference of 9. That's good. We want to roll high. Here we go. We have rolled a 3. By the way, it's got endurance of 25. So a 3 on the 9 advantage is he has taken 10 points of damage. I have taken 2. So my endurance has reduced to 33. 33. Okay, second round of combat. And he's down to 15. I have rolled a 7. That is, he's taken 16 points of damage, so he is dead because he's taken 26 total, and I have taken nothing. If you win the combat, turn to 34. So spear fishing. Yeah. Certainly feels like it. Half 10. Okay, 34. So I'm going to wrap this up at 11, so I'm going to keep going for half an hour. You roll dead the Bakash into the water and stare fearfully across the hell swamp at the myriad pairs of eyes gleaming coldly in the moonlight. A sudden movement in the water makes you recoil from the edge. Seconds later, the scummy surface is whipped into a froth as bodies are claimed by an unseen predator. You and Jarrell are deeply unsettled by this encounter, and you both spend a sleepless night cradling your weapons, waiting for dawn. Lose 2 endurance points. Okay. So I'm down to 31. Now, I could drink my lamp spurt at this point and restore to my norm, but I won't. But then I can also increase my endurance by 1 for each page I go without any combat, apart from the last one. Okay, so we're now going to 101. And if it's not a combat immediately, I'll put the map. I'm putting the map back up. On the third day of your voyage, it's accompanied by a cold west wind that blows across the desolate swamp and chills you to the bone. Clumps of twisted grey foliage line the channel along which you row, releasing nauseating clouds of gas as your bow wave laps at the rooting rots. At length, you pass by these poison shrubs and you reach a wider waterway where the current flows against you. We must be getting near the Torg estuary, says Jarrell, now having to labour at the oars. I'm glad he's taken a shift. He continues for a few minutes more, then just as you're about to take your turn, the mouth of the River Torg looms into view. Turn to 209. Yeah, so in those 2 pages alone, my constitution will have already returned to 33. So pretty soon it will be back. I haven't fought one of those water monsters before. No, I did fight some similar things in the swamp, but it wasn't the same creature, I don't think. There could be one following us, David. That is true. 209. Okay. You swap seats with Jarrell and take the oars. The flow is much stronger here, but you're arrested, and you'll row with strength and determination that overcomes the swift current. You have travelled more than 10 miles upstream when the bow rams against a submerged obstruction. The boat is near the middle of the river, and you see no obvious hazards. Oh, you might be right. But no matter how hard you row, the boat is stuck fast. If you have the Magnachi skill of pathmanship, I do have pathmanship, turn to 191. And that's also my endurance back up to 34. So it's already nearly back up to normal. Now, by the way, it does give you the option of playing the game on a harder thing where you have a max number of endurance heals you can do with the ability of curing per game. But that seems counterintuitive to having the abilities, me. So I prefer to use it. Okay, so I'm going to 191. Your Kai Mastery alerts you to deadly danger. The boat is being held from beneath by a group of amphibian creatures who intend on launching a surprise attack. You warn Jarrell. You see, you were right, David. You warn Jarrell of what you sense and quietly both unsheath your weapons in readiness to receive their imminent assault. Right, okay. Turn to 245. What is the harder version from Schwarzenegger? Yeah, I mean, fighting fantasy books, you do get killed a lot more frequently. Lone Wolf, it is a bit harder to die, thankfully. I've only died properly, I think, once so far in the Lone Wolf series, and that was in it. I have to say it was like a glitch thing. And I proved it because I went back and tried all the other routes. Right. A dozen webbed hands slap over the gunwales and 6 ghoulish domed. I mean, how big is this rowboat exactly? It's not very big, is it? Oh, excuse me. A dozen of these things, 6 ghoulish dome-shaped heads arise from the river. A rasping croak issued through their bared fangs. When they see you are prepared for their attack, and frantically they try to clamber into the boat before you can cut them down. Increase your combat skill by 2 points for the duration of the fight due to your readiness. They're immune to fire seeds. Okay, they got combat skill of 21. I'm at 30, but with my +2, that's +11. So let's get the combat chart up. We want that one. Okay, here we go. All right, so forgive my cough. Combat skill of 21. I've got +11, so I'm rolling on the highest chart, which is good. Here we go. 9. I think I killed him straight away. 9 on the +11 chart is a killed in action. So even though they had endurance of 36, I cut them down pretty quick. If you win in 4 rounds or less, turn to 169. I think I did. 169 it is. Water around the boat is stained sickly green. I bet it is. Combat, says David. Yeah, that combat was over really fast, man. 1 round and they were down. Yeah, we'll put the map back up. Okay, so we're on the tributary to the River Torg is this. So we're around here somewhere. However, 2 of the creatures have survived your murderous counterattack and have sunk beneath the bow. Suddenly, there's a loud crack as the sharpened wooden stake rips up through the timbers close by your feet. A fountain of water gushes through the hole. The boat tilts violently, and both you and Jarrell are pitched headlong into the river. With your eyes stung by the blood-stained water, you strike out blindly in the hope of reaching the bank before you fall foul of your attackers. Cold and shaken, you eventually reach the south bank and drag yourself onto the muddy shore. 226. Okay. You can go back. It does give you the option of going back sometimes. And there's also occasions when I've reserved the right to return. And then obviously different sections confluence together, David. My actual thing is based on a real historical battle, the book I'm going to design. So, and it's going to take place over like 5 specific days. So obviously I won't be able to send people back in time to sections that are relevant to that time period. So the book will be in effectively the storyline will be in several different strands that will go through 5 different narratives that will crisscross, so to speak. Jarrell screams for help as he struggles to escape from the clutches of the creatures. He surfaces sword in hand, but is pulled under again, and this time he does not reappear. A trail of bubbles and a reddening patch of water drifting with the current are all that mark the grave of Seb Jarrell. Damn, man. He's dead. He didn't need to come with me anyway. What about his men? They're going to be very upset with me. For an hour, you sit staring at the river in quiet solitude. Really? Have I got sort of time to hang about? Not sure that I have. I might sort of change that to... For 3 minutes, you sit staring at the riverbank in quiet solitude. Then, well, you got to get on with it. You turn towards Torgar and defiantly vow to avenge his death by retrieving the stolen law stones from the dungeon of this dreaded citadel. You journey along the bank of the river Torg. It's long, and it's a tiring ordeal. For 8 days, you trudge through the black mud, cut off from all view of the lands to the north and south by an unbroken wall of stunted trees. The uninhabitants of this forsaken territory are buzzing insects that hang around, seemingly motionless in the humid air. They're a constant source of irritation, but their bites prove harmless. You may wish to note you've travelled along the River Torg for future reference. Okay, well, I think it's useful to do that when they suggest it. Has come up from time to time. On the morning of the 9th day, the muddy riverbank gives way to firmer ground and the trees become less dense. Ahead, you can see a barren expanse of yellow, sulphurous soil, the beginnings of the Nadril-Ritzaga foothills. You can also see the broken stones disappearing away into the distance. To continue, turn to 140. I shall. 140 it is. So I have a feeling that there's a big battle in this book, if I remember rightly. There's like a big strategic battle, and you take part of different parts of the armies, which is very, very cool. They hadn't done that in one of these books before. And I thought that was going to be in the last book, but I think it's in this one because I've seen a little image that reminded me. After a week of trekking, you've put 10 miles behind you. You've reached a bridge that crosses the sickly yellow stream, flowing down from the surrounding hills. I feel like I've just merged to another timeline here for sure. You must eat a meal or lose 3 endurance points. Oh, my endurance is back to max now anyway. And I will eat a meal. So my meals are down to 3, sorry. Eaten 2, down to 3. I wonder if Luton Airport's reopened yet. Does anyone know? You're about to continue your journey across the bridge when you hear the rumble of hoofbeats and see a group of horsemen shrouded in dust, riding along the road towards you. If you have the magnified discipline of hunt mastery, which I do not, and have reached... No, okay, if you don't possess this skill, have yet to reach this, you can either wait for these riders to reach you or take cover beneath the bridge. Well, take cover or wait for the riders to reach me. So I'm thinking, don't ask me why, but I have a feeling that they're not going to be the bad guys for some reason. But I'm thinking probably we should hide under the bridge. Let's err on the side of caution. Don't want to get like piked. Suddenly you dive beneath the bridge and wait. With bated breath, they thunder across the bridge until you can no longer hear them, and then you climb out. 179. Well, that was easy. Okay, 179. The road winds up towards through the arid hills until it reaches a ridge of yellow rock. You see, Desert Phoenix is saying wait. That was my first instinct, actually. That was my first instinct. Yeah, but you know, I decided not to do that, so we won't cheat. Okay. So we went 322. Now we're going 179. The road winds up towards the arid hills until it reaches a ridge of yellow rock. You climb to the crest of the ridge and catch your first awe-inspiring glimpse of Torgar. The walls of this grim city fortress stand upon the brink of a ravine cut by centuries of rushing water. Natural ravine cuts deep. A natural causeway of stone spans the dark chasm and provides the only means of approaching Torgar from the south. It has an enviable position, and its defences seem impregnable. It commands the only road into the barren land of Gatan. Oh, right, yes. Which is in the north there, if we look. Up north is Gatan. Let's zoom out a little bit. Oh, there we are. Oh. And yes, I see Gatan is sort of up here. Bit of a valley. Then we've got this other city called Cragmantle. Okay. In the past, there would have been a few who would venture willingly to Torgar, but now the causeway and its approaches swarming with soldiers, and they've come with their engines of war to lay siege to this grim Drakim fortress. Oh, right, surrounded by the good guys. Less than a mile from the ridge stands a cluster of tents perched on top of a hillock that overlooks the siege works. As you approach them, a group of knights appears from the largest tent and commands you to halt. One of them, an officer, recognizes the uniform you wear and bids you to enter the tent to meet his commander. All the knights are armed and nervous. It would not be prudent to refuse the officer's request. If you've ever visited Garthen in a previous Lone Wolf adventure, turn to 45. I think I have. Let me check my list of places. But I'm pretty sure I have, because Garthen, isn't it a... yeah, City of Garthen. I have. It's on my list. Turn to 45. Quite pleased about that. I think we're coming up to our end point pretty soon, guys. It's nearly 14 minutes. So I'll be wrapping up. This will be part one. And I'll probably look at doing the next part probably the same time next week. I've got a few things lined up though, so there may be some juggling of bits and pieces. I've also got a live stream. I've got a live stream tomorrow. I've got one on Friday. And I've got two on Friday actually. And yeah, so I've got one tomorrow with Vex Electronica. I've got one of my own. We're doing. I tell you what, let me cover all this at the end. Let's carry on for a bit. Right, 45. Okay. Inside the tent, a group of senior officers are poring over their battle maps and planning their troop dispositions for an assault across the causeway. Their leader has his back to you, but when he turns, you recognise him at once. Adamus, Lord Constable of Garthen. By the gods! I thought Darnag had claimed you, Lone Wolf. How good it is to see you alive. Gordon's alive. He dismisses his captains and bids you to tell him all that has happened since you last met. So you wish to break into Torgar, he says, thoughtfully. How strange it is that our goals are so similar. Come, follow me. I fancy our cooperation will hasten the success of both our aims. Turn to 127. How convenient. We'll do a few more. Turn to 127. Yeah, okay. This is a big section. I think my voice is getting a bit dry, so I'm probably going to call it here. A short distance from Lord Adama's tent, where there stands a wooden watchtower constructed by his army of engineers. It offers an unobstructed view of the causeway and the great gate of Torgar. As you reach the top of its rickety ladder and step onto the platform beside the Lord Constable, he recounts the events that have led to the siege of the city. Following his victory over the Orgians, that's how they're spelt, by the way, and the destruction of Znar, Adamus led the allied armies of Bor, Telastria, and Palmyrian along the Black Shroud Trail in pursuit of the shattered enemy. Okay, so that's kind of all the Black Shroud Trail. Oh yeah. That's along the bottom, runs along the bottom there, but from the Black Shroud city. When Telestria was overrun in the early days of the war, thousands of her people were taken as slaves and imprisoned here in this fortress. Lord Adamus swore one day he would free them and was determined to fulfill his solemn pledge, and quite right too. Yeah, on Saturday I've got a stream kit. I'll go through them all in a sec. Both were soundly defeated by the Allies and sent back to Craigmantle to lick their wounds. Although victorious at Zunesta, the Allies suffered heavy losses, and Adamus feared they would be too weak to storm Torgar. He was too far from his homeland for reinforcements to reach him swiftly, and there was the growing threat that the Dark Lords would muster their troops in Tanos and Mosgor to attack again. Faced with this grave dilemma, he decided to risk an assault on Torgar, which means we have to breach their iron gate, he says. The Eldar Mackay have given us a device that will reduce it to twisted scrap. When we march through that portal and free our people, we shall have all the reinforcements we need. Turn to 120. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. That is part one of the Dungeons of Torgar. Sorry, I was a bit low energy today. I feel like I might be fighting off something, actually, which is not good at all. Don't want to be doing that. Has been quite an eventful week. Okay, so what have I got coming up? Let's have a look. I shall tell you. If we jump onto... Oh, look, there's my own stream. How bizarre. So let's... Yeah, let's get my channel up, and I'll tell you. We'll just do I'll do a little sort of round robin of the various things that we've got coming up. Okay, so coming up in the not too distant future, I'm doing a Chew the Fat episode tomorrow with Vex Electronica discussing the Continental. I haven't seen the last episode yet. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it tomorrow. I'm doing a massive discussion on one of the best British television drama series ever made, in a new series that I'm calling The Best of British Drama. It took me ages to come up with that. Got a new title sequence for it and everything. And I'm going to highlight British drama television series, old and new, that I think are worth your time to watch. And I'm doing a new one and I'm doing an old one within a week of each other. So I am doing, early on Friday, I'm covering The Long Shadow and The Hunt for the Yorkshire Ripper, 2 dramas, one of which has just come out on ITV1, one of which is already out, and I believe it's still available to watch for free on YouTube. And then the following week, I'm going to be covering Our Friends in the North, which is a huge, big, epic series. It's available on DVD, never been released on Blu-ray. On Saturday, I'm going to be getting into the Cutthroat Island Blu-ray re-release, which I've just bought, so I've got it. And then a couple of other things. I've got 2 industry interviews lined up. One with Jeff Farley, who's makeup artist from Babylon 5, coming on October the 17th. I've got actress and producer Lauren Metcalf, who did a film recently with Kevin Spacey. So that's going to be a very interesting discussion. She's coming on October the 30th. Then also I have the next gaming stream, and I'm also going to be on Canoli Sasquatch's channel on Monday discussing The Departed. Keith, I saw that. So also I'm going to be on Retro Nerd Girls channel on Friday night, right after I've done my stream on The Long Shadow and the Yorkshire Ripper, which I brought forward to 8 o'clock. It was at 9, but I brought it forward an hour. I'm going to be jumping on Retro Nerd Girls channel to talk about animation feature films that were aimed at adults. So lots of great stuff coming up. It should be good fun. So that's it from me, guys, for tonight. Fun to do that, but I'm knackered on this. It's good to wind it up. Thanks so much for tuning in and checking out the bits and pieces. Look forward to more collaborations with other YouTubers. I've got a few things lined up with people. I'll talk to you more about those when I see you next time. And I'll be doing another Wednesday night roundup as well in a couple of weeks with a couple of other guests on. That's going to be good fun too. So won't be doing those every week. I'll be doing them sort of, I've got so many things I'm trying to fit in. So I'll be doing one of those sort of every other week or so, rounding up the other things that I've seen that I'm not doing a gut reaction review or whatever. So in the meantime, I will see you all again real soon. Don't forget what I will say. Always remember to tell the people that you care about that you love them. And until then, catch you on the other side.